I have a question that I want to ask you, the viewer. What comes to mind when you think of Call of Duty Zombies? If you've been a part of this community for a while now, I assume the things that will come to mind are plenty of nostalgic moments regarding past experiences. For me, however, it's different. The two words that come to mind when I think of zombies are beauty and chaos. Looking back, zombies was such a far-fetched idea that never should have worked. A endless round-based mode where you fight off Nazi zombies does not sound like it would work as a side mode inside of one of the largest FPS shooters in gaming. But against all odds, it worked. In fact, it worked so well, it would spawn an entire new community dedicated to this one mode. The biggest antonym to Call of Duty Zombies is predictable. Back in the day, you never knew what to expect. You never knew where the story was going to go next. Speaking of the story, everything was so bizarre, convoluted, and nonsensical, it blended perfectly with the chaos of the game mode. Having my expectations constantly subverted while going on plenty of wacky and crazy adventures was what I loved so much about zombies. This is why things like Exo-Zombies and World War II didn't carry over that same feeling. Because even though they both had intriguing stories and map ideas, World War II more so than the former, they were both pretty basic and predictable. And no, not having a wacky personality is not what made me dislike both of Sledgehammer's takes. World War II and Exo-Zombies have much bigger issues. No, today I'd like to get into how Treyarch have lost their magic touch when it comes to the personality of Cold War zombies. Treyarch has always been the king of pushing boundaries and always upping the scale from their last game, so with Cold War, what happened? Now before any of you go to the comment section, I want to make it clear that I understand this game is a fresh reboot to the Aether story, and they're going for something more simple and a lot easier to understand. However, a more simplistic story isn't the problem here. At least the concept isn't. My main issue lies with the gameplay. Even though I praise this game for its new upgrade and crafting systems, the problem is much bigger than that. The maps. Die Maschine and Firebase Z are decent maps to play, but that's just it. Decent. Not innovative, not memorable, not unique, just decent. Think back to Black Ops 1 Zombies. You had Kino der Toten, a fairly easy map for newcomers, 5, a claustrophobic hardcore experience, Ascension and Call of the Dead, fairly balanced experiences that don't play similar to each other in the slightest, Shangri-La, like 5, tight and difficult, and finally Moon, a map that can be generous, fair, or completely unforgiving that literally and physically takes zombies to the next level. That season was super diverse with maps that all played differently and had something for both casual and hardcore players. I know we only have 3 maps so far, and yes, I'm counting Outbreak. Die Maschine and Firebase Z play identically. That's because both have uninspired layouts and they don't rely on engaging side quests to set themselves apart. Outbreak is an entirely different beast, and I will give credit where credit is due. It's pretty innovative. But that doesn't change the fact it's pretty darn easy. I'm not saying every map should be some really strict, confined, hardcore experience, but I am making the argument that there needs to be more variety concerning difficulty. Even if this was a choice to get more Warzone players on board, you can make something difficult without making things hard to follow. Just look at the entirety of World at War Zombies. Cold War Zombies doesn't have any flavor, and I think each map being unique in regards to structure, difficulty, and playstyle is one of the most important aspects of the zombie season. I'm not a big World War II Zombies cheerleader, but at least I know that playing the Shadowed Throne would give me an entirely different experience than playing the Final Reich. Another point I'd like to make is atmosphere. What atmosphere? I feel like Cold War Zombies is all over the place when it comes to this. Both Black Ops 3 and 4 were experts at juggling such a serious and powerful story with tongue-in-cheek humor. But when Cold War does it, it just feels odd. I still don't know which side they're trying to gravitate to. Are they trying to be gritty and realistic, wacky and over the top? Both? If they're trying to be any of these, I don't think they're doing a good job at it. And don't get me started with the maps. In the good old days, we had satanic prisons, an isolated island of despair, a chaotic, overrun Stalingrad, and an epic battle of a demigod on fucking Mount Olympus. What do we have now? A German facility, a Vietnam facility, and multiple areas of random buildings scattered throughout. There's nothing about these maps that make me go, oh cool, this is such an awesome, interesting location. It feels like I'm playing Exo Zombies, but the funny thing about that is Exo Zombies I feel had more interesting locations. I know that may sound harsh, but that's just my opinion. And lastly, there's the story. I'm gonna keep this brief since I have an entire video about the story releasing soon, but aside from that cool Easter egg we just had an outbreak, nothing interesting has been going on up to that point. Treyarch has established the three main villains, the good guys, the science behind most things we've encountered so far, and a few hints to something sinister lurking in the background. While we figured out a little more information and context since Die Maschine, nothing interesting has been happening in the story. We just had that cliffhanger ending and outbreak, so I'm hoping this leads to something crazy happening in Mauer der Toten, but I'm not holding my breath. Overall, Cold War Zombies doesn't have fresh variety regarding their maps, interesting atmospheric locations, or a super engaging story. These three factors just doesn't give it a personality. I'm hoping Mauer der Toten and the rumored DLC 4 changes this, but as it is right now, I feel like Cold War Zombies won't be remembered in the far future like the previous Treyarch zombie games were. But what about you guys? Let me know what you think of Cold War Zombies in the comments. I will see you guys later. Peace out.